Hey everybody, I wanted to share some thoughts with you because there's been so much turmoil in the world recently. It's made my heart quite heavy. I've been praying for peace in Iran, Nepal, Serbia, Russia, Ukraine, Israel, Gaza, Sudan, and the rest of the world. For the families who experienced tragedies of loss recently of Irina, Charlie, the school shootings, the victims of the derailment in Lisbon, the migrant deaths in the English Channel, the mass stabbings in Canada's Indigenous communities, and so on. This world is very sick. There's so much loss. Despite social media and the internet, we are more disconnected and estranged than we've ever been. If we live in big cities, most of us don't know our neighbors. We have surface level friendships, conversations, and engagements. We live lives of distraction, try to replace the need for connection because we fear being rejected. We are quick to cut off people that we don't agree with and get easily offended and don't seek resolution. We call them names, belittle them, and backbite. We assume we know people's motives, and instead of respectful discourse, we avoid, silence, and become fake. It feels so good to think you are right, that you are better than the person that you disagree with. This judgment begins as a way to soothe your own insecurity and dissatisfaction. The feeling of vindication is a quick hit of a drug, but it's a facade and it's only temporary, and soon transforms into guilt and shame, which triggers even more judgment, creating a vicious cycle of addiction. What we criticize in others is actually usually a reflection of what we're most uncomfortable with in our own selves. It comes from a place of fear, not love, a place of shame and insecurity. This judgment and this sense of superiority allows us to dehumanize the other person. The moment that we dehumanize them, we either pity ourselves or elevate ourselves by making them bad and wrong, and we disconnect. This position is not our higher nature. It's our lower nature. According to spiritual teachings and quantum physics, we are all one, and this oneness is our inherent nature. There's a quote that goes, "The first gulp from the glass of natural sciences will turn you into an atheist, but at the bottom of the glass, God is waiting for you." This quote is by Werner Heisenberg, German theoretical physicist and one of the main pioneers of theory of quantum mechanics. Science is slowly starting to catch up to the idea that we are all one. Researchers are starting to realize when they study savants and nonverbal individuals that consciousness transcends language and current collective understanding in the medical community. What they're learning is that love is anything that is unifying, and that science and religion are actually harmonious. When you're integrated with yourself and society, and mostly healed, you wouldn't cause harm intentionally to yourself or others. You are one with them. In fact, you would go out of your way to protect others. In this state, your being, the atoms and molecules of your body, energy vibrate at a frequency of love, joy, and harmony, a very high frequency. In this state, you choose to build and create beautiful things. When you're fragmented internally, you're in a state of fear and shame. Your frequency drops and you biologically, mentally feel insecure or depressed, lonely, and you judge. Many people live in this, have thoughts of destruction, abuse, harm, defending themselves, and eventually unaliving themselves and in some cases others. This is unfortunately the state of so many people in the last few days and weeks around the world. So many people on each extreme side of the political spectrum, religious extremists from any faith, atheist radicals, they all have this in common. These people are stuck in this addictive loop, judging in isolation, immersed in fear, shame, and insecurity. In most cases, social media and the internet turns into an echo chamber, and the radical and sometimes violent actions of these people seem justified to them and their allies. This has been the case for all radical extremists. They're just really scared people. I belong to a community of individuals that should be an example of love, fellowship, unity, and oneness. And yet so many of these people, while identifying as a member of this community, publicly shame and judge others for not agreeing with their personal convictions. Beliefs regarding which groups of people should be supported or protected, as if any group of people doesn't belong in that category. Beliefs about what people should or should not do with weapons, as if this would even be a conversation if we considered ourselves part of one human family. Beliefs regarding vaccines. There's literally laws for protection of your medical information. This is a personal choice for a reason. Keep it to yourself. Beliefs about other people's choices and decisions, which are their right and have nothing to do with us. Great examples we are. And it's interesting because we're supposed to be not involved in politics and politically neutral. And all of these individuals I'm referring to seem to be politically left-leaning and try to twist scripture to fit their personal agenda so that they can fit in, even though we're warned about the movement of the left. By the way, Christians do this too, twist scripture to fit their personal agenda. Jesus was not a Republican or a Democrat, nor were any of the other manifestations of God. The visions we should be striving for is completely outside of politics. That is the only way we'll get close to achieving peace. We need to be stronger than this lazy judgment addiction. These worldly vain imaginings and these illusions and delusions of grandeur, they're very self-serving and egotistical and quite frankly reprehensible. I can probably realistically still expect it from people who have not heard of the teachings, but to see these expressions from people in our community is honestly shocking. It's childish and we should know better, and it needs to stop. If you're still listening to this, I implore you, get yourself in order. Get your home and your family in order. Get your community in order. People are worried about war in a different continent, but they don't even know or love their neighbors. Focus on making more money while their children are emotionally starving. Looking for boyfriends and girlfriends while there's kids being abused. Blaming feminism, blaming toxic masculinity, wearing a mask of virtue signaling to cover our subconscious insecurities. Stop blaming. It's you. The problem is you. People are talking about the devil and the end times. It's no devil. It's us. It's our ego. We are the problem, and we are going to be our own downfall. So now needs to be the end time of that. You're encouraging campaigns to mass call legislators. They can't help you. Even if they do achieve anything, it's all fleeting and temporary and gone the moment the next person steps into office. The problem is not that the laws are wrong. The problem is that we're capable of harm because we're judging and entitled and justify idiotic behavior. Our character is weak. We are weak. Guns don't kill people just like abortions don't kill babies. Humans do that. You're sitting on a train next to a girl that's bleeding out in the seat next to you, and you can't or don't say or do anything. Not to mention, you know of a man that is mentally ill and a danger to society, but you let him walk around free with a long criminal history. Of course he takes another life. Are you going to vote for banning knives to prevent stabbing? This could have all been prevented if we didn't treat each other as strangers. You have a child, friend, neighbor, or sibling that is suffering from mental illness, but you don't do anything because you don't have time or it's none of your business. And then they go and take a weapon and use it to take the lives of innocent children at a school in the name of radical ideology. You can blame whatever weapon you want to make yourself feel better. You have an uncle or a brother that is scared or worried and alone, and instead of sitting down with them and connecting, you leave them to their own devices. Instead of processing emotions and thoughts, they let it simmer and escalate until it takes the life of a father and husband. Now a 1-year-old boy and a 3-year-old little girl have their father taken away from them. A wife has her husband ripped out of a beautiful, loving, faithful marriage that she waited and prayed for so many years. If you don't find that devastating, you need to do some soul searching. If you find yourself treating any of these strategies with flippancy, sarcasm, or outright hatred, check yourself. Check your heart and find your humanity. People are making jokes about political agenda because they're so disconnected from the source of love, so jaded and nihilistic that they're dead inside. You couldn't use words to win a debate, so you used a weapon to take away their life? You still lost. That's enough. This is the turning point. Turn off the news. All that is disgustingly dead inside people, living zombies, who literally feed off of your fear for their sustenance. Not the employees, obviously, the owners. They're all corrupt monsters. Shut it off. They capitalize off of your emotions at the detriment of the weakest and most vulnerable in our society, the children. They are the ones most affected and abused by war, conflict, and estrangement. The news won't notice that you, insert your name whoever you are, you're not watching. But the impact it will make on your community and society is profound, beyond your wildest imagination. Get off your high horse of fake righteousness. Take that same energy and attention that you gave your echo chamber of lies and turn it to your spouse, to your children, your siblings, your neighbors. Ask them about their fears, their sorrows. Raise your level of understanding. Connect, encourage them, and give them hope. Dare to build genuine, sincere friendship. I know it's going to feel foreign. Learn to say, I love you. Learn to say it without words first, then learn to say the words. Say them to the people you know didn't hear them enough. Don't say them unless you mean it. Learn how to love without expecting anything in return. Learn how to love more than just for romance, but for genuine care and well-being of the oneness that we are. Do it because I love you. We can hate for no reason, so we can love for no reason. Peace.